Is consciousness an illusion? I'm Elsabie from elsabiesmith.com. Who am I? Let me ask you, how do you define yourself? Here's a little exercise that you can try. Quickly think of 10 true statements about yourself. For example, I'm a woman. I'm a writer. I'm a bad cook. I'm a workaholic. Every single one of those statements are true. So write down your 10 statements or make a note of them somewhere. Then see where you drag yourself down and ask yourself why. Is that your real view of yourself? Do you want to ask for approval from others? Or do you wait for other people to tell you the opposite of what you state? Are you, for example, saying, I'm a bad cook, so that somebody can say, oh, no, your cooking is wonderful. Well, if that is the case, why do you call yourself a bad cook? Well, in my case, I have a few standard recipes that see me through life. So when I say I'm a bad cook, it doesn't mean I drag myself down. It means I'm honest, because cooking is really not at the top of my priority list. Do you step into that trap when you define yourself? Why would you need such approval from outside of yourself? You need to get approval from yourself, not from other people. So ask yourself, why are you not getting approval from yourself? What you put out into this world is what comes back to you. If you don't like what comes back to you, do 2 things. The first one is become aware of the messages that you send into the world. If you don't like them, you can change them. For example, I need support, which is, asking for help, becomes I have inner strength. So recognize that inner strength. It doesn't mean that you will never need support, but if needing support has become your crutch, then maybe it's time to throw the crutch away and to say, I have inner strength. If the message you sent into the world says, I have no talents, change that around, saying, I have talents that I have underestimated for a long time, but I now accept them and I will start using them more often because that makes me happy. Don't break yourself down. God didn't bring you into this world with absolutely no talent. Even if your talent is for looking after children, that's your talent. I once had a neighbor who is a qualified teacher. She really disliked teaching. Yes, she was qualified. She spent years getting the qualification. She spent a few years actually teaching children, and she really disliked it. You know what she liked? She liked cleaning her house. So she resigned as a teacher, and she opened a new business, cleaning other people's houses. And she is lovely. She flourishes in her business because that's her passion. I don't particularly like cleaning house, but I like a clean house. I really enjoy a clean and tidy environment to work on. So I have now found this absolute gem of a cleaner who helps me. She enjoys cleaning my house. She enjoys spoiling me. And as a result, I live in a clean and tidy house, and I enjoy spoiling her. Win-win. The second thing you need to do is to list the people and situations who confirm these negative views of yourself. Then you start working at eliminating these people and these situations one at a time. Now, I have a client who regularly contacts me to say, my husband has now said this negative thing about me, and I feel so terrible. I don't know what to do about it. It's simple. In this case, it's her husband. So if you cannot avoid him altogether, it's not, and it's the same if this negative message comes from your child or a colleague or a parent. This is really powerful. And again, it goes back to how powerful your thoughts are. Put an invisible cocoon around yourself. Choose not to let this negative person come into your personal space. This gives you control in a situation where you have previously maybe felt like a victim. And now you can say to me, oh, well, this cocoon around yourself is imagination. Well, you live in an illusion. Everything around you is imagination. Why not use it purposely to protect yourself against the negativity in your environment. Now I want to teach you something so potent, it's going to blow your mind. Remember, we started this off by you making statements about yourself. For example, I am a woman. I am a writer. I now want you to do the next part of this, and this is so simple. Use the most powerful words in any language. Forget every previous statement you made earlier to define yourself, and simply just say, I am. Then observe how you feel. What happens in your body? What happens in your mind? I am. That is what you need to connect to every day of your life. That is where your power lies. Here's another powerful one. I am consciousness. A state of true consciousness is where there are no energy blockages in the physical or emotional body. I have written this book. I've actually channeled this book. It is called Deep Blue, A Guide to Empowerment Healing. And in there, I wrote stuff about consciousness, which I'm going to quote for you. Consciousness is all there is. There's nothing unconscious in this world or in any other reality. Any person can experience as much or as little consciousness as they choose to experience. Consciousness is nothing. The assumption is that consciousness is something tangible and separate from who you are. Consciousness is not tangible. It is not separate from who you are. Consciousness is not something out there which you go to when you need it. Consciousness is who you are. Consciousness is what you are. If you believe yourself to be tangible, then consciousness is as tangible as you are. There are not different parts of consciousness. People refer with some hint of expertise to the lower self, the unconscious, the higher self, the subconscious. All these describe the same nothingness. These distinctions are artificial. There are no distinctions. The only distinction is that people like to fragment their understanding because it gives them something to hold on to. The fragmentation is a symbol of the division of mankind. It has nothing to do with what consciousness is or how it is constructed. In fact, consciousness is not constructed. It just is. Only when consciousness flows freely will love abound. Consciousness is there all the time. Awareness is there as much as the person allows their awareness. This was a quote from my book, Deep Blue, A Guide to Empowerment Healing. Now, what is collective consciousness? It's the same as the conscious mind. It's not a separate entity. It is rather an awareness of the consciousness that we all are. I hope this gave you some answers.